Hello and welcome to Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the talk show that spotlights HR professionals and talks about all things HR. The holiday season is here, a time for joy, reflection, and most importantly, giving back individually and organizationally. When we think of the Salvation Army, we often picture those things we're familiar with, like the red kettles, the sound of bells ringing, and the angel tree tags hanging with the names of children and seniors who will receive a special gift this Christmas. But the Salvation Army is about so much more than that. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with two incredible leaders, the area commanders for the Memphis Area Command of the Salvation Army, Majors Tim and Cheryl Gilliam. We're going to talk about the power of giving, the spirit of volunteerism, and how each of us can make a difference this Christmas season. How are you, Majors Tim and Cheryl Gilliam, today?
Doing good. Good to be here with you.
Good. I am so glad that you're here today and for us to talk about the spirit of giving. But before we get in that, I want to talk a little bit about you. I want to talk about you. So you're area commanders with the Salvation Army. What does that role mean and how does it connect with the overall mission and the overall activities of the Salvation Army?
We've been officers for the Salvation Army for 30 years, if you can believe that. So every officer is an ordained minister, a pastor. So our first priority is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to do that to the whosoever. And so even as what they call an area commander, even though the area commander oversees all the work of the Salvation Army in a certain region.
Yes.
And for us right now, that means Memphis and the Mid-South.
Okay.
So everything under the Salvation Army umbrella falls under our watchful eye. But of course, we have a great team that supports the work and actually does the work at Ground Zero. So that's really what we do. We love the Lord, we love people, and we have the privilege of doing that through the mechanism of the Salvation Army.
That is also wonderful. And what a unique way of doing it. But what's even more unique, they're a husband and wife team. More unique. And they're my managers here at the Salvation Army. And I love you, and you do an excellent job with that. But we know that the Salvation Army is much more than just ringing the bells. It's an international movement. It's a global movement. Can you tell us a little bit more about the global mission of the Salvation Army and how that global reach connects to Memphis?
So the Salvation Army is an international movement, and our founder, William Booth, was a Methodist circuit preacher back in the 1800s. And he would go and preach to crowds, and then he would say to them, now go try to get them into these churches, mostly the Anglican church. But at that point, you had to buy your pew.
All right.
Okay, which is unfamiliar to us, right?
Nowadays,
you have to buy your pew to sit there and to hear the gospel and to attend church. And obviously, the folks that he went to were the least, the lost, and the lonely, and the outcasts. And so when he would send them back into a church, the church did not really receive them. They didn't have the means to be able to go to a worship service like you and I do today. And so William Booth said, you know what, that's okay, we'll start our own church.
All right.
And so he began with a slogan that said soup, soap, and salvation. Okay, soup, soap, and salvation. Feed them, clothe them, give them shelter, and give the gospel of Jesus Christ, offer them. Because a man or a woman whose stomach is hungry cannot hear the message when they're distracted because they don't have their basic needs met. And so William Booth began this, and it spread from there. I mean, it came to the United States in the 1800s with a girl who was 16 years old.
All right.
Her name was Eliza Shirley. And she came with a man named George Scott Railton and 7 hallelujah lassies, they call them. And then it just began to spread from there. And now we are in over 134 countries.
Yes, 134 countries in 175 languages. It is amazing. So it's not just here locally, it's all over.
That's right.
But you're meeting human needs. in his name.
Well, that's the whole
yeah.
soup, soap, and salvation.
Yes.
It's making sure that basic needs are taken care of, and any other needs that in a community that the Salvation Army can help with.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Sheltering. We here in Memphis shelter women and children.
Yes.
And then we have an ARC, an adult rehabilitation center that takes men through recovery.
Yes.
And so, yes, meeting human needs is part of the mission
Yes.
of the Salvation Army. Primarily preaching the gospel of Jesus, but we have to be able to meet the human needs for
Yes.
them to hear that message of salvation through Jesus Christ.
You talked about housing women and children, and a lot of that is the social services side, really, of the ministry. And we do that at the Purdue Center of Hope, right? You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
So at the Purdue Center of Hope, that's where our administrative offices for the area command are located. But also we have 3 shelters for women, and what makes us unique, not just women, but women and their children. In fact, our recovery program for women is the only one in the region, and is one of the only handful in the country that allows women to come in for recovery from addiction and have their children with them. And so we have people not only from Memphis and the Mid-South, but also from around the country because of the unique nature of our program. And our program has an incredible outcome. The success rate for women who graduate our program is very, very high. So it's something we're very proud of. I will say also, we just mentioned that the Salvation Army is in 134 countries. And the Salvation Army, although the basic mission is exactly the same, the showing out of that mission is unique to the community. So whatever the community needs, the Salvation Army meets those needs.
Okay.
So, and we're probably going to talk about some of those other things here locally that makes us unique from other cities and regions.
Wow. So it's different according to the need of the community, right? So we're part of the Southern Territory of the Salvation Army, and it is international, and nationally we're part of the Southern Territory. All right, so can you hear this? The ringing of the bell. Can you hear that?
We hear it already.
Can you see the Christmas tree with the angel names on it? When you talk about the Salvation Army, that's what you're familiar with, right? So let's talk about that. That's what we're familiar with, and all monies, right, that are donated stay right here in Memphis. You want to tell us a little bit more about how that works and where donations go and how that dollar can make a difference to a family in need right here?
Right. So with those very familiar kettle locations where you hear the sound of that bell, every dollar that is raised in those kettles stays right here locally. And it goes to help pay for those 3 shelters with women and their children. The women and children who participate in our program do not pay anything. It's free of charge. And so the only way those shelters can stay open is by the generous donations of people who live right here in our community.
So I encourage you to give. Let's reach out and make a difference. Let's do that today. So that's the red kettle. I can remember vividly being even a little girl. You hear that bell? You put that in there. We want to encourage you to do that. But we also have online options as well, right? Is that correct?
That is correct. So anyone who's interested in giving online can go to salvationarmymemphis.org and just follow the prompts. You can give with your credit card. We have every form of payment that is out there is available to you. And just go to that website again, salvationarmymemphis.org, and you can see all those incredible ways that you can donate.
I would say this is our largest fundraiser for this, not just for the season, but for the whole year.
Okay.
So what we raise during this Christmas season, we stretch out as long as we can throughout the months, throughout the year. And so we have a very lofty goal, but we know this community can help us, of $901,000.
901, our area code.
That's right.
901,000. You can make that difference. Go out there and do it today. So that's the red kettles when you think of Christmas time. But there's another thing. It is so important for children when they wake up to have gifts under the tree. I remember so vividly. You wake up and there they are. Santa's brought them. Santa's brought them. But we have an angel tree program that connects children and seniors to special gifts for Christmas. Can you walk us through how that works and how people can get involved with that?
Sure. So early on in September, we begin the registration process and we open it up to the community. And I will say we're inundated to not only max, but we sometimes have to turn people away because we get so many requests for applications. We also work with partnering agencies to identify seniors and families who have low income and who qualify for this program. It is a program you have to qualify for.
Okay.
And so our staff and some volunteers take people through a registration process, and then those names are then given to corporate sponsors. Now, a family's name is never given in full, so it's total confidence.
Okay.
It's totally confidential.
Yes.
But the angel tags have a first name and the age and the gender, and then all of the things that would help a donor to go and buy the wishes and needs of the angel, whether it's a child or senior. The thing I love about the angel tree is that it doesn't just provide toys. We put one wish, and we allow the parent to put like with the genre, like if the child likes Paw Patrol or something to that nature, that helps the donor again to get, not just that one wish, but whatever they could do as a donor for that child. And then it gives an opportunity for the mom or dad to put a need. That need is a basic need. It is clothing, it is shoes. It might be a uniform for school. It might be they need bedding. Some type of bedding. And then, of course, for the senior, it's the same thing. They might need something to help clothing-wise, or slippers or things like that, and then they get a wish as well. But what I love about it is it's not just giving a toy. It is meeting that basic need, which aligns so closely to our mission in regards to meeting the needs of our community. So it's a wonderful way of tangibly being able to give. You might not ever see that child, but you will know on Christmas morning that child wakes up with joy because there are gifts under the tree just for them. And then for mom and dad, or mom and or dad, they are able to have hope because they can provide for their children. And that is what the blessing of the angel tree is, the angel tree program.
The blessing of the angel tree program. It is needed, much needed, and when it happens, it makes a difference in a child's life, a senior's life, and in the community altogether, So for every red kettle and every angel tree activity, volunteers are needed, right? Volunteers. Tell us how people can get involved with volunteering for the Salvation Army, not only in Christmas, but year-round, how they can get involved, and how organizations can contribute as well.
So the Salvation Army would cease to exist without our volunteers. We talked about the need for donors, but equally important is the need for volunteers. And so anyone who wants to volunteer can go to that same website. I'll say it again, salvationarmymemphis.org, and you can sign up for whatever you want to volunteer for. And it doesn't just happen at the Christmas time, it happens year round. Maybe you have a skill, like you are a piano instructor. They can come to the Croc Center and teach kids how to play the piano. Or maybe you're a painter. We always have buildings and facilities that are in need of painting. Maybe you're a gardener and can come help us with landscaping on our campuses. Whatever the gift is, whatever time you have, if the Lord has put on your heart, hey, I want to volunteer for the Salvation Army, you can go to that site and someone from our development department will reach out and say, hey, we have just a spot for you. But we would cease to exist without volunteers. Right. And so we really are a volunteer army.
Okay, volunteer army. And that is so important. You got a gift, got a skill that you can contribute, please do it. Please do it. We're bringing skills and service together. So it's so important to that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your leadership. And I can speak firsthand. You're such great leaders. You're such great leaders. You lead with energy, with service, with purpose, and with mission. How do you stay motivated? Because under the umbrella of the Salvation Army, that's a lot going on at Christmas season. How do you stay motivated and keep employees motivated? What are some of the things that you do?
Well, William Booth, when he started this thing called the Salvation Army, he was motivated by the Holy Spirit to do it. And so that is the undergirding of everything that we do, is the Holy Spirit's pushing and making us go forward with the mission. And so the Salvation Army for years and years and years had a motto, heart to God, hand to man. And that's really our passion. Our heart belongs to the Lord, and as a result of that, our love goes out to the community. And so that really is our motivating force. And our passion is to point people to Jesus Christ in everything we do, whether that's at the Croc Center, teaching a physical fitness class, doing swimming lessons, or one of our shelters or social services. Everything we do is motivated by the love of God, and we want to point people to Jesus. And so that's what jazzes us up. That's what gets us excited. Every day we get to represent Jesus. That's also a heavy responsibility, but the Holy Spirit is always up to the task in giving us exactly what we need.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Do you hear their heart? It's there. So we are so thankful to even have them in the city doing the work of the Lord, and their passion for the Salvation Army and what they do. When you see the shield of the Salvation Army, which they have all the regalia going on, when you see that shield, it means mission. It means what William Booth, what he wanted to happen is that we meet human needs in his name without discrimination. And we don't not apologize for it, right?
Right.
We are there. So I know you have heard so many stories, and you've seen so many success stories. You've seen so many people evolve through the Salvation Army. Can you tell us about a warm story or something that happened during your tenure with the Salvation Army that can reach our hearts? I'm sure it's a lot of things that happen, but what's a warm story?
The first story that comes to mind is an older gentleman by the name of Robert. He went by the nickname Pappy. Cheryl and I were new lieutenants. We were in our second appointment in a little town called Lufkin, Texas. And that first Christmas season, I had this older gentleman come in. Now, I'm ashamed to say this, but I thought he was coming in to receive help from us. He was a carnival worker, traveling carnival worker. His clothes were stained with grease and grime, and you couldn't wash it out. His hands were crippled and calloused. His shoes had holes in them. And so I just thought he was coming in to ask for help. But he came in and he says, at the time I was a lieutenant, he goes, "Lieutenant, I'm coming here to help you." I said, "Oh, okay, how are you gonna do that?" He says, "The Salvation Army changed my life years ago. And every Christmas season, I come off the carnival trail and I go ring bells for the Salvation Army." I said, "Oh, okay. So you want to ring bells?" He says, "Yes, and I guarantee I'll be your #1 bell ringer."
Wow.
And Pappy was true to his word. Every day he was the top bell ringer. No one could come close to the amount of money that he brought in. And when he wasn't working at the kettle during the Christmas season, he was painting stripes in the parking lot or painting walls. And then when the Christmas season was over, he went right back to the carnival circuit and built the rides and do all the things that carnival workers do. But not only that, when we moved to our next appointment and the appointment after that, Pappy found us.
Wow.
And he came and he rang bells for us in 3 appointments. Now, since then, Pappy has gone on to be with the Lord. But every time I think, every single Christmas season, I think of Pappy. Coming off, leaving his income behind from the carnival circuit to come ring a bell, because the Salvation Army, really God, through the Salvation Army, made an impact on his life and transformed his life.
Wow. What a warm story. What's incredible about it is that that's what we hear in the course of our work every day, that the Salvation Army helped me. You find so many people that come back and let us know that. And it's so powerful to know that entity, an act of kindness can change a person's life to the point where they always come back to give back. It is incredible. Any other stories?
Well, we have one right here in Memphis. A colleague of ours who actually runs the Adult Rehabilitation Center was a beneficiary in an adult rehabilitation center in St. Petersburg, Florida, where Tim and I were the area commanders there. And so he started coming to the church because that's what we do. We're faith-based, so anything that we do has the love of God in the gospel of Jesus Christ involved, because we believe that is the true answer for anything that we go through in life. And so this young man named Ryan started coming, and he wanted to become a part of the church, the Salvation Army Church. And so my husband led him through the Salvation Army 101, what it means to be a part of the Salvation Army Church. And then we enrolled him as an adherent, and then he later, probably about a year later, became a soldier. He is now a Salvation Army officer, an ordained minister in the Salvation Army.
Wow.
Because he went through that recovery program, and because people poured into his life at an ordained time for him, where then the Lord spoke to him and said, I want you to now go help change others' lives. And so he and his wife oversee the Adult Rehabilitation Center there.
Wow.
Dr. Deneen, I purposely did not share that story because it chokes me up. Ryan and I had an incredible relationship as he was going through the recovery program. And to this day, he is one of my closest friends. And we get to serve here in Memphis together. We would have never thought that in a million years. But because of the transformation that took place for him in the Salvation Army, now he's given back as an ordained minister, as an officer of the Salvation Army.
Wow.
I will say, if you want to see more of those kind of stories and videos, you can go to salvationarmymemphis.org, and we have about 30 videos of women and children in this community that their lives have been transformed. Yes, through the vehicle of the Salvation Army, but ultimately we believe it's because of the love of God that pursues each and every one of us.
Yes.
And has intersected their lives through the Salvation Army. And now they are self-sufficient. They own their own homes. They're off the streets. I mean, it's just so many heartwarming stories right there.
Yes.
That you can go and see of the true transformation of the power of love and of helping others up out of their situation.
Yeah. So change can happen.
Yeah.
Transformation can happen.
Absolutely.
Through the love of Christ.
That's right.
And through the Salvation Army. So there is always hope. So if you're here and you're watching today, and some of the things that we talked about you need help with, there is a direct line to get that type of help. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's choking me up.
Oh.
It's choking me up as well. So we talked about the different extensions of the Salvation Army. We talked about the Adult Rehabilitation Center. We talked about the Purdue Center of Hope. And then there's the Kroc Center.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Kroc Center. It's a little bit different, but it still has the mission of the Salvation Army. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the Kroc Center, first, we're one of only a few cities in the nation that have an adult rehabilitation center, have a Kroc Center, and have the expression of worship. We call them our church's core. We use that quasi-military terminology, but places of worship. And so we're very unique in the country because of that. But the Kroc Center is super unique because we look at the holistic person. So a person can come in and get their exercise by swimming in the pool or taking classes with a trainer. We also have an incredible creative arts program, but all of that is centered around the soul and leading people to Jesus, because we believe the Lord wants us to be healthy physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and the Kroc Center can do that. So we actually have 3 places of worship here in Memphis: the Adult Rehabilitation Center, the Kroc Center has a church in it, and the Purdue Center of Hope also has a church in it. So, but Kroc Center has a beautiful way of addressing the entire person, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Yes, and it's a wonderful place. If you hadn't gone, I encourage you to come and become a member. become a member of the Kroc Center. And the Kroc Center is unique because it is named after Joan Kroc, right? Mm-hmm. Which was the wife of Ray Kroc, owner of McDonald's.
Right.
And you want to tell us how that happened?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how McDonald's and physical fitness go together. I wish it would happen a little bit more easy for me. But Joan Kroc had a heart for reaching everybody. She would see these mega churches with these beautiful gymnasiums and swimming pools. She says, how can we do that for those who don't have the means? And so she had a relationship with a Salvation Army officer in San Diego, and a beautiful thing happened. She became so enamored by the work of the Army. She says, when I pass, I'm going to give an incredible gift and build these Ray and Joan Kroc centers across the country. And so that's really the genesis of how things happened. She loved what we did and wanted to partner with us so that what happened in these mega churches could also happen for those who didn't have the means.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. And it's 26, 27 Kroc centers all over the United States. So it's not just in Memphis, it's all around. So we thank her for her legacy.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right, so we're going to kind of wrap things up. If there's a message that you want to tell the community, what is it? Or if there's a prayer that you would like to have transferred to the community, what would it be?
The first thing that comes to mind is just to say thank you. The people of Memphis and the Mid-South have hearts to give. You know, I get a little disheartened when you see Memphis mentioned in the national news, because sometimes we're not shown in a favorable light. Even though we're still kind of rookies, we've only been here for a couple years, we see the heart of Memphis. Memphians take care of each other, they encourage each other, they pray for each other, and they give to support those in need in our community. And so I just want to say thank you. Listen, does Memphis need Jesus? Yes. Does Memphis need a Salvation Army? I think so. I believe so.
I think so.
But so does every city.
Yes.
Every city needs Jesus, and every city could probably benefit from the presence of the Salvation Army. But I just want to say thank you, because we are very blessed to live here, to work here, to minister in this community, in this region.
Well, I thank you so much for coming today. This has been so enlightening. Talking about the Salvation Army, talking about what we do. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you so much. Wow, what a wonderful reminder that giving goes far beyond what we can place in a kettle or place under a tree. It's about sharing kindness, time, and love with those who need it most. A big thank you to our guests, Majors Tim and Cheryl Gilliam, the area commanders of the Salvation Army Memphis Area Command, for joining me today and for all that they do to bring hope to this community. This Christmas, I encourage you to look beyond the bells and find your own way to give back. Whether it's volunteering, donating, or just simply spreading joy. Remember, keep serving, keep giving, and keep hope alive. Make the difference this Christmas season. Be sure to watch a new episode of Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the first of every month, on the YouTube channel of the same name and on Comcast Xfinity, channel 17 and 1091, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Please know you can watch Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen and prior episodes anytime. Go to YouTube and type in the talk show title. Be sure to subscribe, no fee, and click on the notification bell. This is HR TV. I'm Dr. Deneen, and I want to talk HR with you. HR forever. See you next time.